Every whitetail season has an opening day, and each whitetail season has an end. But each whitetail hunter's journey is uniquely their own. Whitetail Fix chronicles the seasons of 9 hunters, the highs, the lows, the whole story.
That is what you come to Iowa for right there. Thank you, Lord. I don't know that I'll ever get close enough to kill him.
I cannot tell you that I've had that feeling before.
He's a stud, 10 point. He looked a little bit forward, which scares me some.
They just eluded me. If I didn't see a deer, I was leaving.
What do you say? I mean, I got my whitetail fix.
I've never had a season like this. Nothing I can say, nothing I can do. I missed him, flat out missed him. Everything that could go wrong today did go wrong.
Within 25 yards stands the biggest deer I've ever seen in my life.
But to get the full story, you don't start at the finish line. You start at day 1.
Well, welcome to North Missouri. It's June the 30th. I got my dog Charlie out with me, my right-hand man. We finally got a nice day where we can get out and do something. It's too wet to work in the field, but it's a good day to get out and freshen up some mineral sites. So I'm calling it Big and J Day on the farm. The horns are growing, it's time to fuel the fire. And there's no better way to do it than with some true mineral, some legit apple flavor. Man, I'd eat the stuff myself. So it's time to get to work, put this stuff out.
Shaking that night, you got me sweating all over. Down on the killing floor. All I know, everyone is talking, everybody told me so. No, I say, hold me in your pocket, baby, let me stay.
They say variety is the spice of life, and if that's the case, then the Whitetail Fix is as spicy as a plate of jerk chicken. No two Fix members are the same, and the way these guys see it, that's a good thing. Each Fix member brings his own style and point of view to the team. The last thing the Fix wants is to be a bunch of guys who think, act, talk, and hunt the same way. One of each is enough. Who needs 2 of this guy? 2 of him, or him, or him, or any of them.
Each member of this team brings a quality to our team, to Whitetail Fix, that I look up to. You know, Worm has a quality about him that I respect, and Jesse might have something, or Matt, or Chuck, all the guys, a great group of guys.
Just like how a variety of spices make a dish more appetizing, the wide array of personalities on the Fix make the team stronger. Some know how to have fun, some are organized, some guys are tough. But they all have those specific traits that they're known for. And when it comes to the Fix team's resident farmer, Chuck Weldon, there are a lot of ways you can describe him. But near the top of the list would have to be patient.
I admire Chuck Weldon for all his hard work he puts in to make his ground better than his neighbors, his commitment to only killing mature bucks.
Chuck is so patient, he makes deer stay 2 years old for 3 years before he lets them have a 3rd birthday.
Is it true that every buck on Chuck Weldon's farm is 2.5 years old?
Is he in here? All right.
I swear up and down that he's 3. Some people say he's 4. Some people agree with me, say he's 3. Some people say he's old enough. I thought maybe he was a 4-year-old. That deer was 3 at best. At best, 3.
Chuck's patience allows him to let a deer like this walk by multiple times without even pulling back the bear once.
I'm sorry, how old do you think Wacky Rack?
He's 3.5. I don't care what anybody says, he's 3.5. He's not old enough. How about that?
Despite how some of his buddies feel, being patient can be a very good thing. A very, very good thing. And this year, Chuck plans on cashing in on some of the profits of his patience.
It's been a long summer, a wet spring, a wet summer, tough time getting a crop in the ground, tough time to get my food plots in, but I've been running those Reconics, I've been putting out that Big and J, and I've got some of the best quality deer I've ever had to hunt in my life. In my primary farm, I've got Little Buddy that I have such a storied history with, and Wacky Rack that I took so much ribbon for not shooting the year before. Hit list bucks 1 and 2. September 15th, opening day, finally rolls around. It is the one set all year long where I have a cameraman. Well, welcome to Missouri. September 15th, it's opening day. It's the day we've waited for since January. You can tell by the sweat beading off my face that it's not exactly the best deer hunting weather, but it is opening day.
Opening day arrives, and Chuck's excitement couldn't be higher. He's waiting on Little Buddy and Wacky Rack, but instead, it's a doe party.
Opening day finally rolls around. I don't see anything.
Opening day ended with disappointment, but with warm weather and just one hunt under his belt, that's no cause for concern for Mr. Weldon. However, Chuck has recently heard some rumors that are definitely cause for concern.
I started hearing rumors about a lot of EHD in the area. How can we have EHD? We've had one of the wettest springs and summers on record. We've got all this water. How can these deer be dying? And I'm not seeing anything, so I'm scared to death that I've passed on these deer for so many years. Now, have they succumbed to EHD? The buzzards are flying. I don't know.
It had been a long, wet summer, but whitetail season has finally arrived in Missouri. Chuck has been waiting all year to go after his top 2 hit listers, number 1 Little Buddy, and number 2 Wacky Rack. The season has started slow.
Opening day finally rolls around. I don't see anything.
And to make matters worse, rumors of a familiar disease are starting to spread once again.
I start hearing rumors about a lot of EHD in the area.
And without a hit lister sighting or a trail cam pick over the past few weeks,
and I'm not seeing anything.
Mr. Weldon's getting nervous.
I'm scared to death that I've passed on these deer for so many years. Have they succumbed to EHD? The buzzards are flying. I don't know.
When you're a hunter, things rarely go as planned. When things don't go your way, the only thing you can do is stay positive, keep grinding, and wait for a glimpse of hope.
But by the 24th, there's a little hope.
It is my wife's birthday, so Becky, happy birthday, baby. I love you. You know you got a really special wife when she tells you on her birthday to go ahead and go hunting, so.
It may be Becky's birthday, but it was Chuck who got the present today.
I actually get to see my 2 biggest deer, Wacky Rack and Little Buddy.
Still no deer on the ground, but Chuck can take solace in the fact that he knows both of his top hit listers are alive and well. Chuck knows where these deer are going at night. Now it's on to phase 2.
This field that I'm hunting over was a cornfield, but I came in and I planted a cover crop. And at one end, at one corner, I've got a blind. The other end, the other corner, I've got a blind. And then smack dab in the center, I've got a tree stand that I call the Eagle's Nest. So it's a game of cat and mouse. I've seen these 2 bucks. I think I know what they're gonna do. One night, I go get in the blind. They come out at the other end. The next night, I go get in the tree. They came out at the opposite end of the field. It's just a simple game of cat and mouse. So I decided this one particular blind. Little Buddy is my biggest hit list buck. I've had the most storied history with him. I go sit in the blind where they've been coming out every night. I no more get in the blind. What's Little Buddy do? Walks out right underneath that tree. What the hell deer is that? Freaking Little Buddy just walked right underneath my tree. Gotta be kidding me.
No matter where Chuck hunts, it seems Little Buddy has a supernatural ability to always stay just out of reach.
I don't know that I'll ever get close enough to kill him. I'm going to use all my resources to my advantage. My scent killer, I'm going to use my scent storm for wildlife research. I'm going to reactivate the carbon on my scent lock. I'm going to use everything to my advantage, and I'm going to stick it out in this one particular tree, the Eagle's Nest. I climb up in it, keep looking to my left. That's where the deer have been coming from. I keep looking, look over to my right. Here he comes, Wacky Rack, walking out. He's at 100 yards. All he's got to do is keep walking out in the field like all the does do. I'm gonna have a broadside shot at 40, 45 yards. What's he do? Comes out, walks right, walks off to the other side of the field. Not 2 minutes later, the other buck I'm hunting, my #1 hit lister, Little Buddy, he comes walking out. Well, do you think that he would actually come my way? Absolutely not. He comes, walks out, follows Wacky Rack up the other side of the fence. Another night has passed. I've seen him. I've been close. I can't get him killed. We'll try again tomorrow.
And when it comes to concealment, Chuck's season so far can be summed up: right place, wrong blind. Little Buddy and Wacky Rack are always within sight, but never within reach of the bear. It's like Chuck is on a game show, choosing to see what's behind door 1, 2, or 3. But instead of doors, it's tree stands and ground blinds. However, this hunter has no intentions of giving up. He knows that if he keeps working hard, good things can happen.
Again, I'm using everything to my advantage. Scent killer, scent storm, acorn cover scent, scent lock, using everything to my advantage. The wind is marginal at best, but I'm gonna stay right here in the center of this field. I'm gonna stay in this eagle's nest field. I'm 30, 35 feet above the ground. Maybe tonight will be the night.
Wacky Rack and Little Buddy, they're here every single night. And it's just a matter of time before they make a mistake. And when they do, I'm gonna be right here to capitalize, so.
Chuck is in his hawk, ready and waiting. But as the night rolls on, the only deer to make a mistake are young bucks and does.
There's several does, small bucks on the field. I'm starting to lose hope. I look over to my left. Out steps Wacky Rack. Now I'm torn. I've got Little Buddy and I've got Wacky Rack. Hit list buck #2 has stepped out. I haven't seen hit list buck #1. What do?
What will Chuck do? Chuck Weldon is in a hawk with his bear, and this deer is in the field, and he still doesn't know what he's gonna do. Chuck has become notorious among the fixed team for passing great deer for one reason or another, and Wacky Rack sits at the top of that list. But if Chuck would have had time to text the rest of the whitetail fix, the guys could have made the choice very clear for Mr. Weldon. Luckily, Chuck came to that conclusion all on his own.
Well, after all the struggles I've had thus far, if this deer comes into range, I'm gonna take the shot. I've said it before, God's got a lot better things to do than answer a prayer of a deer hunter, but like an answered prayer, instead of walking across the other side of the field like they've done so many nights, he turns, walks right down the corn row, through that cover crop field, comes out and gives me a quarter and away shot at about 47 yards. I let the arrow fly, and I'm thinking money. Dead deer, gonna die in the field. He runs down the edge of the field, he turns broadside to me, and I can see on his offside, right center body, a round spot of blood where the arrow had exited. I'm waiting for the deer to go down. He's dead. Finally, he walks off of the field. I get down out of the tree, I slip back to the house, I get a hold of John, I get a hold of Worm, I call everybody on the fixed team, hey man, Wacky Rack is done, I finally killed him. Everybody shows up, let's go get him, I'm ready, let's go get him.
We've got a lot of coyotes in the area. We really want to go in and try to find this deer tonight. We're going to take our time, slip in, just try to be as quiet as we can, see if we can recover Wacky Rack. So let's go.
And that's where I messed up. I went in, we found just a few drops of blood, no deer.
After years of passing on Wacky Rack and countless encounters, Chuck Weldon finally let a Carbon Express fly at this Missouri giant. Normally, that means it's time to go recover the animal and celebrate. But in Chuck's case, the celebration would have to wait.
We looked for hours and hours the night before, couldn't find hardly any blood, obviously didn't find the deer. I go back in the next morning, I'm distraught. I look myself, no luck. So I call a couple local people that I know that have some bloodhounds, have some dogs. No luck, can't find anything. I think, man, here it is. I've lost one of the best deer in my life. So I called the best in the business, Tracker John, and I begged and I pleaded. I said, man, would you come? Would you come? He said, send me the video. So I sent him a video clip off my phone. He called me back and he said, man, we can find that deer. That deer is dead. He said, I'll be there in the morning. Tracker John shows up 5 o'clock in the morning. We wait till daylight. He gets Jesse. Jesse is his prize-winning dog. If you watch outdoor television at all, you've surely heard of Tracker John and Jesse. He says, we'll find that deer. He said, do you fish? I said, yeah, some. He said, it'll be just like fish on. He said, when she gets that track, he said, it's gonna be like setting the hook and reeling in a big one. So we go, search, walk. It's like an hour and a half, and I'm like, all hope is lost. And I'm standing there, Jesse is circling around me. And Tracker John says, your deer was right here. And I said, really, you think so? He said, with the utmost confidence. He says, oh, I know so. And I looked down and I said, John, I said, there is a drop of blood at the edge of my boot here. He comes over and he looks and he says, take 2 steps backwards. Jesse comes in, puts the nose on that blood, and it was like we set the hook on a 60-pound blue cat. Boom, we're in a dead run for over a mile. John said, every time you see blood, put down some toilet paper. I'm like Philly after a night of partying. I mean, there is toilet paper strung for a mile. He finally opened up and finally bled. We run through this little corn food plot that I have.
You got him? Thank you, Lord.
Good girl, Jesse.
And finally, by the grace of God and the help of Jesse and Tracker John, I finally recovered Wacky Rack. Turns out to be the biggest typical of my life thus far.
Well, here he is, the infamous Wacky Rack. Not so wacky this year. The first year I encountered this deer, his left side was all messed up. Last year, he wasn't so wacky either, but an absolute giant Missouri whitetail. Once Jesse picked up the trail, we were in a dead run. So John, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to drive the 3 hours over here to Missouri and help me find an absolute giant, true trophy. This is what the Whitetail Fix is all about right here. And my dad's behind the camera. My wife and daughter are off at work and school. I can't thank them and my hired man Steven enough for allowing me to take the time off to go chase these things. It takes a lot of time away from what's really important. That's family and the farm. But I absolutely cherish every moment of it. And this is a pot of gold at the end of the whitetail rainbow. So Whitetail Fix achieved in Missouri. One happy hunter right here.